The Mercedes-Benz W05 of 2014 is statistically the most successful Formula One car in history. 18 pole positions, 701 points scored, 978 laps in the lead, 11 1-2 finishes and 16 Grand Prix victories. Here's J1 F1 technical advisor Dominic Harlow to explain why this was the most dominant car.
So we start looking at the front of the car. That's a 2013 front wing, but that's been narrowed down to 1650 for 2014. Moving to the front lower wishbone, a unique solution for Mercedes in this large wing-esque area of the front lower wishbone outboard. We had to lower the chassis in 2014, so we can see the lower chassis area there. Looking at the hot and cold flows through the power unit, so an additional cooling requirement obviously from the intercooler, all required packaging, a job that Mercedes did very well. So as the power unit breaks apart there, you can see the different elements they've had to work with. And this was unique, the compressor, MGUH and turbine separated and running with a common shaft through the V of the engine. Also cooling ducting under the body, something that Mercedes worked on, and that was again unique to them. So their nose didn't adopt the solution of the sort of proboscis type impact structure, rather they went for a more conventional nose and then developed it during the year. So in China they introduced this much shorter nose that was a real struggle to get through the crash test, but you can see how extreme that solution is and how that works with the rest of the front wing, just allowing more flow through that lifting section actually in the middle of the front wing and into the underbody of the car. So we go back to the front of the side pods. Mercedes made several updates to the side pod wing or vertical turning vane in that area, and they were still working on that part of the car throughout the season. So some changes here to the mirrors and a winglet on the chassis, I think happened around Suzuka time. Now we go back to the engine cover area. So conservative on cooling in Malaysia with that huge central exit and also a large exit at the back of the side pod. Some work on the floor area and the tyre foot, still crucial as it was in the exhaust blown diffuser days. But they tightened up on cooling as they became more confident with the engine, probably got on top of the detonation issue with the turbocharged engines, and just played some different tunes on the packaging at the back of the car in the Coke bottle to get the amount of cooling exits that they needed. So right at the back of the car, the monkey seat wing communicates really between the diffuser and the main wing, and as we lost the beam wing, it was quite an important area of the car for development. So you see the season start solution, you see them work on that as they probably loaded up a little bit more, and also they had a low drag solution at Spa. Some changes to the rear wing pillars in association with that element. As we look right at the back of the car, the diffuser lost the starter motor slot for 2014. That was closed by a cat flap. So Mercedes had a rather clever and also unique central area there, just allowing a small amount of flow to energise the back of the diffuser under the rear impact structure, and that's helped again by a little cascade wing underneath.
So why, in a nutshell, Dominic, was this the most dominant car?
Well, I think obviously the power unit and the packaging of that was essential to the car's performance, but the overall aerodynamic package was just a very good evolution of the 2013 car and an adaptation of that to the 2014 regulations, and they got enough downforce on the rear of the car without being too draggy.